Smash here, coming at you today, Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I appreciate you guys, as always, taking a little bit of time outside of your day, chilling with me, talking some Raid Shadow Legends. It's going to be a good one. We have an epic champion who was a fusion back in the day that I never, actually a fragment summon back in the day that I never went for. And boy, am I liking this champion. I just finally maxed him like a year and a half or whatever later. I can't wait to share him with you guys, talk about his utility in the game, the viability, and whether or not you should invest in, which is arguably the hardest hitting defense-based nuker in the game, in the epic rarity, obviously. But before that, 30 seconds of personal stuff here. It's actually kind of professional as well. But I agreed to this big campaign months and months ago, and I kind of spaced it out a little bit. But basically, it's this big live event in Paris hosted by Ludwig and several others. And basically, I'm being paired with like a master or a grandmaster chess player, okay?
You?
And it's like these 6 challenges over 6 hours. So we have to play all these chess matches. Oh my God, I'm one of those players. Any good chess players out there? Any good recommendations? Any good recommendations on where I can get better at chess really quickly?
Get there faster!
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I am being paired here with Anna Kramling, who I watched some of her content, and boy, is she amazing. But yeah, anyway, I'm like, crash course. I know how to play chess, right? I'm not that bad, right? I am kind of bad at playing, though. I don't know any strategy behind it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and break down early game, Queen's Gambit, Evan's Gambit, etc. Nor am I gonna break down mid game, late game. So if you guys have any resources for me, I have 2 weeks to cram as much chess as I possibly can into this little brain over here. Anyway, guys, that's going to be a wild event. It's a collaboration between Supercell and chess.com. Anyway, I just started my chess.com account, Clash with Ash YT, if anybody's on there and wants to practice, wants to scrimmage with me a little bit. Man, this dude is kind of a monster. $100 for 4 soul stones. Wow, sign me up, Plarium. Sign me up, what a deal. Sad thing is, it is a deal. That's the sad thing about it.
Really?
I'm not gonna buy it though. Hoskarul, first of all, dude, this guy looks badass, man. I do not want to run into Hoskarul in a dead-end alleyway anywhere, man. This guy he's pretty jacked. He doesn't look like he messes around. Doesn't suffer fools, would gladly. Yeah, cool looking champion. Aesthetically, I've always liked the look on this guy. Reviews in the game are glowing. So obviously people who do have him, not a lot of reviews on this guy, but people who do have him really, really love him. They can use him as a spider stunner, as a faction war control champion, arena offense, we already talked about. He is a really good nuker. Look at his base defense, 1321. Not the best out of every epic champion. I think Grush the Mangler. And I have to say, I'm going to have a big video coming up on Grush later on this week. So stay on the lookout for that. Grush is the only champion I feel like that comes close in terms of nukage from Hoskarul. He and Grush will be kind of toe-to-toe in PvE environments in terms of damage if you build them both out to be nukers. They're both way more than just nukers, though, to be fair. Hoskarul is a control damage dealer, whereas Grush is a healer damage dealer as well. Grush does have 2 AoEs. Hoskarul only has 1, but the multipliers are a little bit better on Hoskarul's. Granted, his defense is a little bit under. So again, they're neck and neck. We're gonna run them all together in today's video too. Morag is another one who's right up there. Ironically, all 3 are Spirit Affinity. Interesting, right? All the good defense nukers, I guess, for epics are all Spirit Affinity. What does this dude do, first of all, right? On his A1, attacks 1 enemy. We have a 40% chance of placing a stun. Not bad in terms of a land rate there. And it is a very hard-hitting A1 ability. Worth noting there, albeit a single target. Wish that was a 2-time hitter or something like that. Anyway, sustained beating on the A2. Very apropos on the name and AoE attack. We have a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. That's a 3-turn cooldown, man. A 3-turn cooldown, 75% stun. That is very, very good, even for a legendary champion. And he's got it as an epic. That's very good. Archmage Helmet, Hoskarul, those are the best stunners out of every epic in the game, right? Am I right there? Anyway, also decreases the turn meter of enemies under stun debuffs by 15%. That's great, right? Even more control built in there. On the, of course, you could get Fearsome Presence as a tier 6 mastery and bring him down to an 80 or up to an 80%, but I don't think it's worth it there. I think I'd rather go for damage. Unfazed, it removes all stun debuffs from all allies. proper good name, I guess, for it, then places an increased defense and an increased resist on all allies for 2 turns. So we get the big version of increased defense on all allies, which is great because he's a defense-based nuker. So he's bringing his own increased defense, albeit not on the same skill, a la like Assaultus, Dragonbane, or something, as his nuke, which is kind of a bummer. But still, he's got it, right? Obviously, for any defense-based nuker, we want them to have increased defense buff. It's almost, you know, close to mandatory, right? So they can deal more damage and stay alive longer. Increased resistance is the small version, but it can be useful in Doom Tower Waves, in Faction Wars, in Iron Twins as well. It's better than nothing. I don't think Hoskarul's a great Hydra clan boss champion. I know some people, there's kind of mixed results on the opinions online about him being good in Hydra. Personally, I don't like running any increased resistance champions for the most part in Hydra because I don't want it to get stolen, you know? And there's always a shot that it gets stolen, even if it's a really small one. I don't want all my other debuffs not to land on the Hydra heads. Furthermore, stun's not going to be useful, obviously, against Hydra. So I think not awful in the early Hydra games, certainly easy to keep alive, do some damage, bring some essential buffs to the table. I think in the early game, totally cool, but in the end game, I'd probably look elsewhere personally. Finish the foe, immune to stun as well. Great against, I don't know, any stunner, right, out there. Against Archmage Helmet.
Nope.
It's a negative affinity matchup there. Astralon.
Nope.
Negative affinity matchup there. Basilius Ronus. There we go. That's a good one. He cannot be stunned. We love that. So the dregs, you know. Increase the damage inflicted by all allies by 15% when attacking enemies under stun debuffs. That's really cool. It's kind of like a Bad El Khazar. He has it with the poison, 20% extra damage. Imagine if you put he and Bad El maybe together. It could do some really cool things with those passives getting more damage, okay? And then we have the increased defense and faction crisp by 30%. Certainly a great defensive aura for faction wars if you're in need. So that's his kit, guys. Definitely very good for an epic champion. I can't believe I didn't go for this fragment summon. I wonder why I didn't, especially a fragment summon, you know? Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and run him really quickly in the arena first. I want to show you, I just want to compare his damage here, right? We don't need to do 100 battles. I just want to compare him to other champions. So I found this tanky team. It's perfect because we have a Spirit Affinity champion and we have 2 Force Affinity champions. So we have good affinity matchups here. And a Necrot the Great, they're nice and tanky. We can just do a damage check. So here's Morag. I have all these champions with Helm Smasher Mastery. I'm going to show you the build after this run really quickly on Hoskarul. I have them all with Helm Smasher, all with Savage or Lethal. The crit damage might differ just a little bit between these champions, but I tried to get it as close as possible. Defense, kind of the same deal. So here's Morag's A2. This is a 3.9 damage multiplier. Hoskarul's is a 4.1, by the way. So let's go ahead and stop it there, see how much damage she did. You know what, let me just bring him up really quickly here. So Hell Hades gives him a 3.5, and multipliers, a 3.85 defense rating on that A1, godlike overall damage rating, and then a 4.1 defense, godlike overall grading for damage. That's really, really nice from an epic champion here in terms of the overall damage grading on these champions, or excuse me, on this champion, singular, Ash, come on, Earth to Ash, Earth to Ash, Earth to Ash.
Roger, roger.
But yeah, those are really, really solid multipliers, guys. All right, let's go ahead. Even for a legendary, they would be solid multipliers for a defense-based champion. So here's Morag. She puts out 126,000 damage on her AoE nuke. Really not bad at all. Keep in mind, these are all very tanky champions, so of course I could sit here against these squishy teams over here. Yeah, kind of squishy, kind of not here, but I could go against a squishy team and I could throw up 100,000 or 120,000 damage on all these nukes. I want it to be a little bit more, you know, realistic going against, you know, tankier teams. So let's get her out of there, Morag. Let's go ahead and use, just to compare, let's use Solus. Solus, Staltus, and Helikath are widely considered the 3 best defensive nukers for legendaries. Obviously they're going to outdamage him, but let's see how far off they are in terms of damage differential. So we come in there, we get polymorph, let me redo it. Not fair, right? We want to make sure we land all the debuffs every single battle. So a redo. All right, we're back at it. So here we go. No polymorph, please. Gonna go ahead and Midnight Ritual, everybody. Everything's looking good. We come in here with the increased defense And we come in with the A3. Let's slow it down. Slow motion, baby. Boom! Oh, man. That was a big time nuke job, right? 247,000 damage. Good God, Solus. You are a monster, my friend. All right. That was insane. That's a lot of... Hoskarul is not going to be able to do that. But again, I have him built like an absolute tank of a nuker. Solus as well. And he's a Void Legendary compared to Epics, guys. Keep that in mind. Just want to level set with one of the best in the game, okay? Same setup. Here we go. Slow it down. Hoskarul, the man of the hour. Boom! Hey, not too bad, my man. All right, let's see. Let's see. We got 171,000 damage. Again, it's no Solus here, but you can see Morag is a beast of a nuker with that A2. Let's try one more defense-based nuker on this team. Let's go with another legendary, but let's not make... Actually, you know what? Let's go with Grush, because Grush on his A3 has a 4 multiplier, okay? So let's just see what he can do here. This is actually really fun. I don't know if you guys enjoy it as much as I do, but I love this testing. So it actually took me like, I don't know, half an hour or so to go in here and make sure that everybody's stats were kind of equal on all these champions. Took me a while, so I like doing this. I really enjoy this. Boom. There was Grush's A3. It didn't seem that hard comparatively here. 90K. I'm not sure what happened there, but I don't want to be unfair to Grush. Let's give him one more go-round. Let's give him one more go-round. He is crit capped, so I think he should have criticaled on all of those abilities there. But let's try him one more time here. Grush, now's your time to shine, buddy. Boom. Okay. Yeah, it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same damage. Either way, though, okay, that's Grush. Let's do Helicath.
It's too much. It's too much.
One more, guys. And then I want to run them in a PvE environment because, of course, we're just talking about nukes right now. But to be totally fair, the most viability on this champion, I'm probably spending too much time going on nukes. By the way, Helicath is like +4 empowered, 299 crit damage. No one's going to be close to that, but I'm just going to run it anyway. The true amazingness on this champion, right, is not just, you know, the buffs that he's bringing to the table, but it's just that beautiful control that this guy has. That's a really... Okay, let's look at this. It's going to be the biggest, I think. Boom! That's a lot of damage, Helicath. He is, to be fair, yeah, 281. So that was a lot of damage there. Helicath is an absolute beast, but he's a monster. He's built to be a nuker. Way more crit damage than my man Hoskarul is going to have. Speaking of Hoskarul, guys, let's go ahead and get in here. So which of you guys watching would even want to use Hoskarul as an arena nuker? Really, frankly, it's people who don't have champions like a Helicath or a Solus or a Staltis Dragon, you know? Or you just want that Spirit Affinity option on a Go Second team, or just a tankier option as a nuker, or an Affinity option. So there's a few different viable, reasons that you would want him as an arena nuker. But of course, if you have those super OP Void Legendaries or whatever, fully empowered Helicath, of course you're going to be using those champions. So suffice it to say, he's on an endgame arena nuker, but he can be fun on a Go Second team while you're farming your Great Hall for, areas where you can't outspeed the enemy team, right? So recently used, let's go with my man, look at Helicath is all fully ascended and everything on every single artifact for the most part. So again, that was a little unfair there, but it is what it is. Hoskarul, I have him in lethal and perception. Nothing wrong with going, I feel like some different ways to build this champion might be with Relentless, because on his A3, those buffs only last for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. So we want him in Relentless gear, maybe even a reflex set, or we'd love to have him, especially for areas like Iron Twins where we're really relying on that increased resistance, albeit the weak version. We'd love to have a buff extender on the team with him. You know, like a Godseeker Aniri, if you have her, right? That'd be a great option. So, you know, if you happen to pull him in the early game, even a farmable Valerie has a buff extender in her kit, right? A rare champion, Bannerlords. So, anyway, we haven't built out to dish out some nukes here. I will say that his HP are very low there. We don't want him to be, you know, the aggro target when he's built like a nuker, but I do have way more than enough crit rate, 117, because of the lethal set. I have 264 crit damage, which is really nice. I don't have a ton of accuracy on him. For PvE, we would want to go ahead and probably make a change, relying on him to control the enemy team. One of the best stunners in the game, really, including legendaries. He's really up there in the conversation. I would say top 10 stunner, Hoskarul, right? Including Legos. So you have a choice to be made here, right? Do we want to go with accuracy on the banner? Do we want to go with defense for a little bit more nukage, a little bit more robust survivability as well? We're going to get by with defense. Believe it or not, we're going to go for a high Doom Tower. Can use all the HP I can get at this point, man. We're going to go after a high Doom Tower secret room on hard, right? Oh, look at this. Extra accuracy. We will take that. We will take that. I don't want to use these ones, though. I don't want to use those. I'm stingy, man. We have defense on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet. We have defense on the ring as well. Again, min-maxing really his defense and his crit damage. We have speed on his boots. We have defense percentage on his chest. We have crit damage on his gauntlets. There's nothing wrong. I want to be super clear here. We talked about relentless reflex, protection. Those are great buffs to have protected, increased defense and increased resist. Protection sets, and we're getting him hopefully every week anyway. We're always replenishing our protection gear, and it's not like super widely used. I think you can definitely use that. You can use basic defense sets. You can use perception sets on this champion. You do have a lot of options in terms of how you want to build this dude. You don't have to build him to be some uber damage dealer. If you want, you can build him super tanky or super fast, right? I like the idea of building him really, really fast in triple perception sets if we're just relying on him to be a stunner or a crowd control champion on our team. So okay, enough talking about the dude. We have crit damage on the gauntlets. You can see we're trying to get as much accuracy, crit rate as possible, and speed on the substats here on this particular build. Building with some resistance is nice too. He has that nice 45 base resistance. He's bringing increased resistance, so why not build him with a little extra resistance? Is another viable option depending on where and when and how you're using this champion. I guess not when, but you know. Blessings. Again, we're trying to get that damage. I went with Crushing Rend. He is 5-star awakened right now. So if it was 6-star, 6-star is 6-star. I've mentioned this before, but 6-star Crushing Rend is one of the most powerful blessings inside the entire game, including every legendary blessing. Every hit will ignore a percentage of the target's defense when it's 6-star. Everything else is the first hit or the first 2 hits of a round, but it's every hit. So that's insane damage that you get there on the 6-star Crushing Rend. Just keep that in the old memory bank in case you're ever lucky enough to pull a 6-star Awakening on a damage dealing champion. Other viable options for this champion would be Commanding Presence to strengthen your aura. We could go with Cruelty as well, especially in PvE. Decrease target's defense by 2%. Keep in mind, you really only per hit. You only really need 1 Cruelty champion per team, so he's a decent option there. Heck, you could even go Phantom Touch for a little bit extra damage as well. So those are the viable options that I would consider in terms of blessings. Masteries on this champion, let me push out of the way really quickly here. Defense came down for Retribution. Nothing wrong with going support tree. I would pick up the accuracy masteries. I would probably pick up Rapid Response, come down the left-hand side, Cycle of Magic, and go with Lasting Gifts. Extending those durations, because we already spoke about it, 2-turn on a 4-turn, would be very valuable on this champion. So that's the way I would go on the support tree, pick up Lore of Steel if I needed it. But I went defense with the Retribution. Keep in mind his A1 hits hard, has another chance of CCing with that stun on there. And then offense, we came down, we picked up Ruthless Ambush and Opportunist, probably one of the most important masteries for this champion. Increased damage inflicted on targets with stun by 12%. Okay, 12% extra damage against targets with stun, and he already has the built-in 15%. You know, quick math, that's 27% extra damage between Opportunist and the passive. That is really cool, and it's not going to show up in the stat sheet. It's going to show up for everybody else as well, I should say, right? I went Helm Smasher. Nothing wrong with going War Master for PvE content as well. Just remember, guys, Opportunist is the way to go on this dude, okay? Let's go ahead and run him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did I get into a tournament playing him? Come on. Come on, get me out of here. UDK's birthday. No, no, no. All right, here we go. Here we go. Doom Tower, Secret Room, hard. Secret Room 9, maybe? No, 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 no. Secret Room 8, probably 8. Yes. We're gonna run all the best defense-based nukers in the game all together, guys. We get Hoskarul, we get Tyrell, we got Grush, we got Morag, and we have Tyrell. Hatatsu. I called Hatatsu Hoskarul. My bad. All right, here we go, guys. They're all built to be nukers, man. You gotta love it. All right, here we go. Around 14,000 damage on Grush's A2, I think. We're gonna go in. We actually led off with the A3, so take that into consideration. Here we go. Boom. Not too bad. Around 10 to 15,000 damage again on that ability there. So, you can see, obviously, stun, turn meter depletion. Take that into consideration, too. Also coming with those stuns, right? Remember, stun targets get that decreased turn meter by 15%. And keep in mind, again, in just dungeon progression, just really nice for control anywhere. And high Doom Tower floors is where you can also get a lot of utility out of this champion. So let's talk about his viability. You know, I don't want to sit here and tell you. Look at that. Everybody's stunned. Everybody's stunned with the turn meter. You can't get that from epic champions outside of Archmage Helmet, right? You can't get that. That's really, really good. And Archmage, what is he? Is he a 50% or is he a 70%? Let's take a look here. Archmage Helmet. It's been a while since I've used Archmage. Last time I used him was as a seer activator. Not even really how he's intended. I guess you could say it's how he's intended, right? He has a 50 booked up to 75% as well. So both of them have it, and that's about it. You know, that's about it. And again, that puts them on par with some of the better stunners, even including legendaries. Astralon has it at 100% on a 4-turn. Basilius Ronus has it as 100% on a 3-turn. So there are, like, you know, other options out there. There's a lot. There's a few others I didn't name, obviously. But still, for epic champions, that's great control. Where are we using this champion? How good is he, Ash? Hades gives him a 3.5 out of 5. It's hard to objectively globally rank a champion. I think that's pretty accurate, honestly. You know, he can help a lot of progression players out there. I think most players watching this video right now, he can help either as a damage. I mean, I'm using him in the end game here in a secret room, in a Doom Tower secret room. He's not instrumental to the team. I could still use it without him, but he sure does help a lot. You know, he sure does help quite a bit. Now on this one, Grush out damaged him, but Grush has 2 AoEs. Hoskarul only has 1. And he's bringing the increased defense along with Hatatsu on this team, right? So, man, those are some really nice numbers. Again, everybody's built out to be a nuker here, and he's so impressive. All that control, all those nukes. Again, I think he's an S-tier progression champion. Endgame champion, he's going to be niche. He's going to be for secret rooms for the most part. Or high Doom Tower rooms, or for Iron Twins, or other areas that get added to the game where we need high resistance. Guys, let me know what you think of this champion. I'm a big fan. I'm glad that I maxed him out. Again, I'm not going to be using him in a ton of areas, but when I do like this, I'm pretty damn excited about it, man. Hoskarul! Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, take care. I don't know what that cheer was at the end, but we'll go with it.